All systems have been alerted to your presence, sir.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
I hope you know what you're doing.
The Emperor has been expecting you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Toy Chest. This is episode 19, being recorded on November 25th, 2024. Our last show before Thanksgiving here in America, and not the last show of the year. We will be planning something very, very cool for something to tie in 2024 and see how and where the toy industry and the Star Wars toys go. So, and of course, a little bit of that talk tonight. But before we get started and all those things, I'm your host, Darth Moocher. I've got Scott Solo here.
What's up, nerds?
Alexander Storm from Shadow Nose Network is here.
What's going on, guys?
Blitz Transmissions Tommy. Look at him.
Finally.
Look at him, everybody. He is here. He's back. And we have a full house today, of course. You know, before we get started and all that stuff, I know we got to do the house cleaning. And so we put up the thing. Here it is right there. The Shadow Council, which is our very own Patreon. If you guys want to feel so inclined to contribute to the production of Starlight Digest and all its shows, and to get Tommy back for another month because we had to pay him. That's right. No, I'm kidding. This is all kindness. But yeah, if you're so inclined to scan that QR code and find out what the Shadow Council is all about, we would be most obliged to you. So, with
Commander
that,
Bly.
Yeah. Scott, who is in the pit right now?
Oh, we got Douglas. We got Douglas Tupper in there. What's up, Tup?
We had some first before all that stuff.
We do. Look at that. He's way up there. And we've got the Max Rebo experience.
The power of many.
Hal Runner base with Twin Flame.
And then
we got Douglas Tupper, Santo 1414. We got Basil G in the house. Commander Bly, though, the boy Batman really likes Scotty was weak in the knees. If you've seen that review I did today for Batman Beyond, that was man.
Break a leg.
Yeah. Break a leg, right? Okay, AJ. What's up, AJ?
AJ joining us from Facebook. If you guys are in there, say hello. And William Rodriguez in there. Say hello. Get your comments in. We're gonna be talking all things Star Wars. But yeah, Scott does those 1-minute toy reviews. That loads our page up, and it's not just Star Wars. It's all toys, all brands, just to kind of bring it in, because we're collectors of multi IPs, as we will get into this show, and we'll see some news, not so news, some things happening. But yeah,
as a matter of fact, we got a GI Joe blitz on the way. It's coming, folks. So buckle up. There's some Joes are coming.
Yeah, and we talk about and this kind of goes with your 1 minute toy review real fast. We kind of go about the quality of things sometimes, and this is the first that I've seen.
Excited. I was so excited to get that figure. I love Batman Beyond. Terry McGinnis is a great character.
Yeah. So
and it was my very first animated McFarlane figure, and I'm so excited. And I barely bent the knee, and it just went pop right off.
Such a clean break. It was.
It was the funniest part was Scott's his energy and his boom, and then like I didn't know how to recover from that. It was like so if anybody gets a chance, check out all those shorts that we put out and everything, and it's quite fun. We're always appreciative of that, Scott. So,
but I will. Oh, hey, what's up, Steve John Jedi? I will say though, if you ever have a figure that breaks like that, Target takes them right back. Everybody will take them back. Just take your receipt back, get your money back for it, because they didn't even question. They looked at it, went, "Yep," and gave me my money right back. So you're not stuck with broken toys.
The only figure that I had break from Hasbro, I got it in from Hasbro, and it was a Marvel Legends figure, and it disintegrated. Like the for some reason it wasn't treated or coated. So I took pictures, sent it to Hasbro Quality Control, and they told me to contact the manufacturer. That was their response, and I was like, "Good. Oh, but aren't you guys like the Like, I mean,
what?"
So I was like, "Okay." That's the first.
Dear Taiwan or China.
Can you lead me in the right direction? That was
been in the Starlock pit for a few hundred years. I understand.
I mean, I opened it in the lake. I mean, the plastic just was powder.
Wow,
it was weird. Yeah. Crate Dragon checking in. Who's getting digested this time? Yes. Right now, Hasbro. Hasbro. I heard that Hasbro is no longer financing movies. We're going to get into some of the structuring and restructuring and habits, as our thumbnail and our description says. Like, what are we in store for coming out in 2025? As you guys probably been, wondering or seeing or following the Haslab Ecto 1 that's on there, it's stalled at like 9,400. The stalling happened in the Rattler. It stalled in the past like three or four Haslabs. It stalled, but then it got that final push in the last 24 hours, and then like the Rattler over 24,000 or whatever it was. Nicholas H is in there, and Mandel Mike is in there. Yeah, as we get to talking, of course, we will shout at everybody that's coming in. But yeah, like it's kind of concerning, and I don't know where this is going. And I was talking to Alex about this, last night about kind of like we're getting nervous about the Haslabs and everything. As you guys know, I backed the Ecto 1 initially, but then the reality set in for me. And maybe this goes on with the stalling and stuff about this time of year too. Reality set in for me, which is, we're coming into the holidays. We're coming into rent is right there when this is going to fund and stuff. And I just got the Rattler. I did that. I didn't get like the others, but if you were getting all of them, man, it was just kind of like, okay, a choice has to be made. A sacrifice has to be made. And I backed out of it. I backed out of the Ecto 1 thinking like maybe if it gets closer, I couldn't make the ends meet. I couldn't justify it this time with all the other G.I. Joe stuff, all the other Star Wars stuff. You know what I mean? And the time of the year was very poor timing. And as we're discussing this, like
inopportune. They hammer us all year long, and then they hit you with one of the bigger ones at the end of the year, right after getting nailed for the others. So yeah, absolutely.
If it doesn't fund by one. Yeah, it might be, but Alex is to blame too. Alex didn't do that.
I think it was. I remember you mentioned it to me. You saying that you were gonna let it go, and then Chet and I was talking, and Chet was like, you know what? It doesn't make any sense. I tried to justify it up until about 3 days ago, and then I just really thought about why would they do something so moronic to have it come out in November? Knowing that it's December 5th. Now, that the Ecto 1 is not being sold to children. We all know it's being sold to adults. So you've got to think that the fathers, uncles, whatever you are, financially, that doesn't make sense. I think they need to have a rule of thumb, like no Haslabs or big ticket items after October.
Yeah, past
Because this
October, like
did
the
not
fourth
make
quarter.
sense.
Yeah, no and like I said, it was just that kind of like the FOMO for me. I was like, oh, I have, because I've always wanted Ecto 1, and this is the scale, and of course, it's not bad, and it's a great. I mean, this is like one of those things that I feel bad pulling, kind of backing out of it, but at the same time, I really had to take a look at the collection behind me and really kind of like sit there and go, okay, I need to put Star Wars on the pedestal, and then I put GI Joe, and then it's Transform, and then so where does this lie? And I'm like, okay, putting $400 in a collection that's going to be in the corner that they're not going to expand on. You know what I mean? That they're not going to go deep with it. They've already canceled it like once, the Plasma series, and this is almost like a last ditch effort. And they threw the Ghostbusters 2 figures in there to kind of entice it, but they're not going to make any more. I don't think. Like that's it. I don't think they're going to give any more to it. So that was my part of this, but the timing too, was yeah.
I also think one of the main items for this is just that, look, we're looking at it from the sense of I'm a person that goes over Facebook Marketplace all the time. I've seen in the last maybe 3 to 4 weeks, I've seen more Haslabs popping on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, all over than I've ever seen in the first 3 or 4 years of Haslabs. And they're at like pretty much reasonable pricing. I think people are just getting out. They have these big ticket items. First of all, if you've seen Galactus, the box is huge. It's about like, same thing with Jabba's parts. They're huge.
Yeah.
Most collectors just don't have the space for it. And when they do get it, it is the FOMO. And the first thing they think about is once they have it, they've got it in the room, they've got it in the corner. My God, I don't have the room for this, or how am I displaying this?
It's the first thing that goes when they want to buy something else. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
And there's the next one.
Exactly.
And there's the next one. Yeah. And it does go in hand in hand. It's like everything on paper seems fantastic. Like 6-inch lines. We're going to get, to run vehicles like especially like GI Joe. GI Joe is going to come. The classified is going to get into that problem of like, all right, look, if they're going to continue these bigger vehicles, people don't just. Well, there are people who do collect, but our circle, we collect multiple stuff. And now there's going to be a point where I stop. And then I was talking to Alex about this, and I want to check in with the pit and you guys to see. Do you have this mentality too? If you stop somewhere, like if you draw a line, like I'm not going to buy these, do you tend to stop collecting the line, or you just pick and choose? And now the line becomes very kind of like incompleted and very, full of holes, if you will. Right. So that's my problem. I'd rather just not collect it versus stopping up to a point and then sprinkling in here. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather just cut the cord. And I've done that with a couple of lines, and again, it's a personal thing. It's a personal collection, choice. That's why, like Scott with the 3 3/4 stuff, they do it all. I mean, we've had this for a whole life, but there is a limit when you scale it to that size, and we're going to be running into some problems. And I'm wondering if the toy companies are going to take a look at that with coming into the next year. With Hasbro's restructuring and removing things and rethinking things, we see it. Like they're getting out of the movie biz. They're going to concentrate on games. They're going to concentrate on things. They're thinking about moving their headquarters. This might be like, okay, they might have to sit on a table and go, look, this is what we can do. We're not funding these Haslab, or they're not getting that, overly excited. They're not. I mean, we had the Cantina that didn't fully fund, or the tier. Right. The Rattler had the tiers where the tier 1 was the problem. And then at that last minute, it was almost like a scare. Like I'm sure Hasbro was scared at that last 12 hours. We're like, we're not doing this. And all of a sudden it just overly did. So it's like messages being sent to them,
it's just, I don't know, because I think it's not only that it's kind of like what happened with you in Indiana Jones, right? You were collecting Indiana Jones. You were all in until the line stopped, and the line stopped before they made Molaram. We all know that. Yeah. And they dropped the line, and you're like, well, screw it. If I'm not going to get everything, if I can't get everything, I don't want anything. Right. I feel like with my point is with Ecto 1, you're right. We're going to get these ghosts or these figures, this vehicle. And that's it. You're not going to have any more ghosts to flesh out the adventure. You can have the Taxi Cab Ghost. You could have all
Vigo,
sorts of other creepy, Vigo.
yeah,
right. And it's if you didn't already get the because I never collected the Ghostbusters Plasma series, so and I'm not collecting this, but you don't. It's like having a team of Joes or a team of Rebels and not having any Imperials or any Cobra figures or
yes. Yeah, it's very incomplete and on it just like.
Uh-oh.
He's just standing really silly, thinking about what he has to say.
This is a dramatic pause.
I think it was knocked in carbonite.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, well,
wow.
Sorry about that, guys. But we also I just want to check, and I'll go back to what I was saying real fast. 212 Hunter is checking in, and there was another person. Crate Dragon, I believe. No, we got Crate Dragon. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm getting you guys. And Mando, I think you have till the Tuesday or Wednesday for
7 days.
Yeah,
7 days left.
I heard all you guys as I was, in frozen mode and carbonite right there. But yeah, I am definitely I don't like looking at an incomplete or a line that was forgotten and dropped. And it goes again with my Star Wars, right? They dropped the Acolyte. That's fine. You guys want to do that? I don't want the Acolyte figures. Why would I want the canceled showed, stuff like that?
I feel
if I find them on clearance, I might do it. But I'm just saying, again, that's a personal mentality. That's a personal way I see my collection and the way I like to, kind of like showcase it and whatnot. I like to see it, especially with like Indiana Jones. Yeah, if they're not going to give you those staple figures, that's fine. You don't have to give us the third guy in the bar seat on bar stool. That's fine. But the staple is like you go to a point and they went deep on Raiders and they deep on the new movie and all that, and then it's like no Temple of Doom figures, like except for Short Round, and Indy 3 Indies from Temple of Doom, you know what I mean, and then and it just didn't make sense to me. So that does factor into a lot how I collect, and I know a lot of people can pick and choose, and again, awesome. And I'm starting to do that, pick and choose and not the key thing is not feeling guilty about it. And I brought this up here before, and I brought this up on our Starlight Digest on Wednesday was just if I don't want to go to a show to see something or watch something, I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to apologize. It's like, I just don't want to. And I shouldn't feel guilty. They shouldn't feel guilty. They're not giving us a product that I want. Therefore, okay, what's the next one, right? So, and that's a mentality I had to get through because all the years of collecting, I would always buy whatever it was. The reason why we had the Farm Boy Luke in our intro, because it's an ongoing joke. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a thing that Farm Boy Luke has been remade and made and made and remade, and they maybe finally got the sculpt right. Here in 2020. No, not yet.
No, seriously, you look at our intro and you see SH Figure Arts, and that's it right there.
Yeah, I have that one. Yeah.
But then everything else, these new ones, I'm looking at that going, why am I going to waste my money?
They'll do it again for the 50th anniversary in a few years.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes, they will. And and I would be always had that like mentality of here's another one. I got to collect it, and I have to have two to open, put on the shelf. Not with these, too expensive for that. So I open everything. But again, now I'm like, all right, I got my definitive Qui-Gon Jinn, right? So because I know, Tommy, you picked up the 3-pack, the Duel of Fates.
I did. Yep.
K-Pack, and I asked, like, was there any new sculpting and all that stuff?
The paint is way better. The paint is so clean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, and it comes with this cloak. So that's
and that does factor in if I buy repeated figures. I will factor in if it's a new sculpt. You know what I mean? If it's something like because I want a definitive figure for everything instead of 18 versions of it, and then they get one right and then keep those 17. I'd rather just sell those off, keep the one, and move on.
So to your point, Mooch, about kind of Hasbro kind of reposturing how they're looking at their market. I think that obviously I can speak most intelligently about the Star Wars market. We've seen a lot of them kind of experimenting this year. For TVC, it was doing a lot more smaller play sets and like animal sets, and vehicle sets.
Yes.
from what I understand, that's been largely successful because that's what people want. And with Black Series, one of the biggest things has been doing tons of multi-packs. And from what I understand, for the retailers and for Hasbro, the multi-packs have been hugely successful because you're selling figures for less than it would cost to buy 2 individual figures or 3 individual figures. And so the collector thinks the collector is getting a deal in a way because they're not buying 3 individual figures.
Yeah.
And the retailers are doing well because they're moving the product. People are more likely to buy it than getting 3 separate characters. And the other thing for Hasbro too, I think that's really helped them this year was moving stuff to fan channel, moving those C-tier, more obscure characters that only the collectors would buy anyway, out of the big box stores and into online fan channels like Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah.
Sending it to the market that wants to buy it in smaller numbers. So I think this year has been really good for Star Wars toys, I got to say, because I think they've tried a lot of new things and pretty much everything that they've tried has worked out in their favor.
And that makes me
run with this next year.
That makes me happy. Because I was speaking in general of Hasbro and all the, again, as a multi-IP collector. But when we do get into like all the Star Wars stuff again, and when we do a show of the best and worst of Star Wars figures that came out, there's not a lot at the bottom.
I agree.
And there was a lot of things that I saw that of like, I wouldn't have bought this if it was individually too, but 2 packs, 3 packs was great. Like we've always said that, now it's, the Black Series in general is a 10-year-old line. It's 10 years old. And it's now a time where you start looking at it and now you start going like, okay, I know it's missing and it's missing, glaringly missing, right? So, but when they come out of the gate sometimes and they go, here's like, Shakti, and here's Anakin, and here's Saboba, and here's like all, and I'm like, all right, cool. Because next year excites me because of the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. All right. Come on.
I got some info. Got some intel.
It's Spotlight Tommy time.
just to bounce off that real quick. So I have 2 little tidbits of information. I know one got publicly posted. Was Walmart is getting 4 more Revenge of the Sith retro packed Black Series figures throughout this next year. Great. Walmart. I love Walshart. So anyways, aside from that, there's also Yak Face recently. He's kind of the guru for the Star Wars stuff. Yeah. He added 39 new code names that have been found in Target system, Walmart system, GameStop system, all unique action figures that are coming out in 2025, in addition to 2 more lightsabers, another deluxe figure, and another helmet, all set to release next year. So I'm like, okay, like you said about your collecting habits.
Yeah.
I've slowed down on some things like Micro Galaxy Squadron. I'm getting a lot more picky now because I'm running out of space and I want to reserve space for Black Series. I know next year is going to be a hot year for the line. So it's give and take, there's stuff. I'm also buying some more Hot Toys because they've been releasing nothing but fire lately.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, but I have to back off on some other stuff to kind of get that give and take. So
yeah. 212th. I had it. 212 Hunter, Commander Cody, helmet, please. Maybe. I mean, they're running wild on helmets, man. Like even our Grand Admiral Franz has gotten into the helmet game. I think he's on 5 helmets now, and I think he didn't have any this year. So he went he's going from pops to helmets, and
he had me pick up the Kylo Ren helmet from Disneyland, the exclusive with all the red cracks in it and all that.
Is that one cool? I've heard cool things about it.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
It lights up. They light up. So it's
awesome.
Really cool. And then from there, he's in Darth Vader and he's got
slipping down the slope.
On Tommy, do you know or have any idea on the balance of those codes found? Are they leaning heavy Black Series or Vigil, or just kind of like here's the codes for?
So those ones are specifically all Black Series.
Really? So like 30 some,
Yeah. So that's going to be, there's two sets of them are like mainline waves. So that's going to eat up probably like 14 to 18 names right there. But then also there's 2 of them that are called Seasonal 1 and Seasonal 2. So we're either getting more Halloween or more holiday figures next year.
Definitely, I 100% believe more the holiday ones because they skipped this year, and they'll come out with like 8 more figures for next year, and I'll buy them all.
I would be okay if they alternate, you know. Halloween one year, Christmas the next.
I would too.
I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll buy them all. I have all of them over there. They're about to come out after Thanksgiving. I'm gonna put them all up. They need more Halloween ones. So see, Todd White, welcome. And this is something that I want to see progress into 2025 also. Smaller vehicles and creatures coming into the Black Series scale. You know, he said, how about a Black Series 1/12 scale blurg? Yes, 100%. It's doable. It wouldn't be overly priced. It'd be about $60. And if it comes with I don't know what it would come with. Maybe another Jawa or something. I don't know. Something that would, army build with it. It'd be great.
Yeah. So that's another thing. The Hasbro has done really well with the small vehicles for the Black Series this year. According to their sales numbers, there some nerd that I know found a way to check how many items on Hasbro Pulse have been sold out of the original stock. So Darth Maul's Sith Speeder, actually, it initially sold out. Pre-orders sold out, and then they did a second restock that was, I think, over 3,000 units, and those are almost gone as of right now. So that's considered largely successful, considering most people are one and done on that one.
Yes.
The Stap, I think they did 8,800 Staps when they released them all. They've sold over half of that stock, which for some people they'd be like, I don't know if that's them doing well, but still. In Hasbro's eyes, that's okay. Well, instead of making double the amount, because this was technically an army builder, they can just do a more limited stock because they're consistently selling the small vehicles at that 4,000.
Right.
So I think honestly, looking forward, we're probably going to see some more stuff like a blurg, like some of the stuff we're seeing in TVC with those smaller vehicle sets.
Yeah. I would be very happy going in that direction. Like I said, more 2-packs, 3-packs, especially in the army building stuff. Like Black Series never had an army building series like Vintage Collection, and obviously for reasons, because army building in Black Series would be $80, $90, $100 for 4 figures. So I mean, we're gonna complain about one thing over another. I mean, but hey, if you give us those options, let us get those. So I'm going to get to Todd White's Rancor here in a minute. So don't let me forget about that, because that might be something we might see in 2025, and we'll talk about the future of Haslab Black Series, especially because I think that's the next Haslab / crowd or what do they call it, Alex? They made to order stuff. You know what I mean? Like the Dragon Man and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. If the Ecto 1 if it fails to fund, now this would be the first time a non-Star Wars and Marvel fail to do it. Are they? So is that to me? Because I always said Hasbro's this pendulum, right? This thing that kind of goes like, all right, look, that's our third or fourth Haslab that's failed completely and not funded. Are they gonna take a look at that with their restructuring everything? And since the Marvel team has had more success, I think, on Dragon Man and the Sentinel and these made to order bigger figures, no tiers, just a kind of a thing. I wouldn't mind Star Wars lumping in that, and we lose Haslab on not vintage because they're doing, but Black Series wise, it would make more sense if they started doing that. Like here's the Rancor again, guys. Again, maybe strip tiered, and maybe it comes with whatever accessories, no figures, $199 or whatever it is, and test the waters with that. Since they have it, they have the molds, they just have to get it made. And if we wait a year, we wait a year, right? So I'm excited to see where 2025 comes, because that to me is the next Haslab. It'll be a Black Series. They haven't had one. Everybody else has run its course. G.I. Joe's had 2. And Vintage Collection has had 2. And Marvel has, you know what I mean? And I mean, it makes sense for me to for them to do it.
None of the Transformers Haslabs have failed. right?
No, those are hugely successful.
Those are hugely successful.
Yeah.
So far, up to this point, none of the Ghostbusters Haslabs have failed. So, and this one, I doubt this one's going to fail either.
I agree.
Marvel, which ones of Marvel have failed? Because I know that the Ghost
Engine
Rider
of
with
Vengeance,
the car, right?
Yeah, Engine of Vengeance failed. I think that was it, though, right?
Was that it? Okay, I thought so. Okay,
just in Engine of Vengeance, or now they like to call it the Robin Racer.
yeah.
Right. Have any of the others? We already know the Rancor and the Reva Saber failed. None of the others have failed. So overall, it's
there was
overwhelmingly
there's a Cookie Monster.
The Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster. There we go. Cookie Monster failed, but overwhelmingly, Haslab has been successful for Hasbro.
Yeah.
Do we think the slowdown in everything will trigger them to discontinue Haslabs and move on to a different model, or do you think they will progress and keep up with different Haslabs? Because I know we've talked in the past of the made to order, right? Do a make kind of like they did with the E-wing, right? Or the Jabba's Palace, which was a load of crap. They made way more than what was originally ordered. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're gonna keep up with Haslabs?
I don't think Haslab as overall, but Star Wars. Well, again, I can't even say it with Vintage Collection, but Black Series needs a closer look. You know, I think where it needs to be like, all right, Black Series might be a different animal because the popularity of Star Wars has dwindled a bit. In shows and toys and toy sales. I mean, no, we can't hide it. It's there, you know. So I think that when they take a look at specific lines, and this is why I think the Black Series and Vintage Collection should be held by two separate teams. Like I think they should split that right down and go, you guys take this, a new team takes Black Series, and let's do that and have events for each, not combined. Because that's my opinion, because I think they spread themselves too thin. And sometimes they don't take a closer look at the better line. The better line.
Well,
is he wrong? I don't think so.
Wrong.
I don't think so.
No. But yeah, and so I think and I would and I can recognize that as far as like, you know, sale wise or production wise, a Black Series is a different animal. It might be tougher to get into those, you know, high tiered stuff and be consistent with it. So they might have to withdraw a bit, and maybe we're not getting all these accessories and all that stuff. Maybe but the opportunity to get the collections fleshed out a little bit more with ease. Like I said, with the beginning of that first half was about like timing and money and multiple, and they do recognize that everybody collects multiple IPs of things. You know, I haven't ran into too many people that just go, I just collect this. So, and there's you know, like I said, they have to recognize that we're putting way too much out. I mean, the G.I. Joe team recognized that last year when they said, don't worry, we're going to slow down. But that lasted a month.
Crap. Yeah, they're full of crap.
That lasted a month. Yeah. Well, what they did is they went, we're slowing down on the quantity, but not deluxe and expenses. Because here's our 5-pack here, or here's a 2-pack at deluxe. Here's 5 deluxe figures instead of 1. We slow down on quantities, but not the amount of how much it's going to cost you. So
have they though? I mean, because my God, it seems like every time I go into the toy store these days or over to Target, there's some new G.I. Joe 25th anniversary or classified 25th anniversary. Wow, welcome to 10 years ago. Some classified figure out there. I think Alpine, Iron Grenadier, Storm Shadow. Those are all
second to last wave. Yeah, that's the second to last wave. So I mean, that distribution is caught up. Like, you know, I'm still waiting on that wave to ship, and then there's the wave I just pre-ordered. You know, so I might be wrong on that.
Now look, I'm not going to take any Joe slander on the show. That's going to make me leave the show. Like I said, no Joe slander. Like I know they've done a good job towards the end of the year a little bit, because they no Joe slander. I think they did a good job towards the end of the year with the 3 releases after, because it's like when they did the Rattler, there was a bunch of stuff that dropped, and then they kind of slowed up at the end of the year. So I thought that was a little bit smarter from the Hasbro team for Joe's on that. But I've noticed that they did a whole bunch of other jumps throughout other lines throughout the end of the year, because I'm hearing that There's things that were supposed to come out in March that's dropping in the fourth quarter right now.
Yes.
But I don't know what's going on with them on that scenario, but we're constantly having more and more earlier figures keep dropping. And my problem is like there's certain figures that I weren't expecting for about 3-4 months that are now like, you get that queue and then your bank account goes, something needs to stop here.
Transfer funds, do this, sell, go to eBay.
2 years in a row now, it's been like pre-orders have. So I canceled a bunch of pre-orders because pre-orders have been set so far in advance. These aren't supposed to ship until February. Next thing I know, they're on my porch. I'm like, what the hell? Stop. You make plans and then
you make plans. This is hell. On our time, I have it in my book on January 2027. Thrawn was supposed to come, and now he's here. What the hell?
He's been here. Yeah,
I know. He can.
Yeah.
There are some. I think Saboba and stuff were like a year out. Like that wave is a year out.
Summer of 2025. But I guarantee they'll start showing up April or May.
They will. Yeah, they absolutely will, because they'll find that, hey, May is Star Wars month, and it's like we need, especially if we're going to do anniversary stuff. If Revenge of the Sith is going to be back in the theaters, we want to get these in people's hands, and that's the smartest way to do it in the marketing. Again, Hasbro, you're marketing to people you've marketed for 40 some years now. Like that's us. We
it's over at GameStop today. I walk over to the figure aisle, and there's the entire crew for Skeleton Crew. That's exactly how it should work. You should have those figures in hand before the show debuts, maybe a couple of weeks before the show debuts, and they're great.
And when they went on sale, they were for sale. They weren't pre-ordered. Like they was like, boom, you get them
right for sale.
Yeah, and I know last week we were talking about, and some people were saying that it's because the show was delayed, so it got a chance for the figures to get caught up, and possibly. But again, that it's just the mentality of seeing it when a show is about to be popular or live, and it does do a lot for the IP itself. It really does, man. What was like Mandalorian? We didn't have a Mandalorian in our hand until 6 months out or something.
But we had. Or no, it was Grogu. We had a Mandalorian, but we didn't have a Grogu until 6 months after. And then, he was everywhere, and that was all they wanted to focus on.
And then now we have 1,000 Grogus.
Yes, we do. So
Todd. A-Wing TIE Fighter Haslab. Yeah. Let's. Okay, so at Black Series Haslab, I mean, we've talked about this. Let's take Rancor off, and let's say Rancor is going to be a made to order, and we're going to do that. Okay. I know that the first thing in our minds has to be with where we're going to put this. Anything Star Wars wise that's bigger than a snow speeder, right? So, TIE Fighter is way too big. That first order one was. I know they try to hit relative Star Wars when anniversaries and stuff like that. So, maybe we're thinking Revenge of the Sith, Jedi Starfighters, a 2-pack like a Han or a Obi-Wan and an Anakin, Jedi Starfighters. That would be cool. Yeah. As long as it's not standard and deluxe, you get 2 for deluxe, and you know what I mean? Not to say they don't gate it that way. Give us maybe some buzz droids with the deluxe. That would be cool too. That maybe somebody mentioned that, and that kind of skyrocketed to the top of my list for a Black Series Haslab was the Jedi Starfighters for Revenge of the Sith. And I'm thinking this is my speculation, announcement in March. So you have the month of March to do that. It goes into April. We kick it go right into Star Wars, month of May. I mean, that's my bingo card. That's what I kind of expect. Or not expect, but kind of speculating.
Wish list.
Wish
list, right? It's no bigger than it would be no bigger than the snow speeder. It would be about the same in length and width, right?
2 of them. And you get
but then you get the Indiana Jones side effect. There is, who does it fight? Who's he going to go up against? Are you going to get a
Vulture droid? Maybe that's
Starfighter. Vulture droid. That'd be pretty cool.
But those could be in these smaller vehicle lines too, right?
It could be. And there you could actually have a 2-pack of those, right? They could have the walking feature on them. I mean,
I like the way you're
that'd be
thinking there.
badass.
Yeah.
That would be badass. That would
Yeah.
be hard to pass up. And even though I wouldn't buy it because it's
just
Black
imagine
Series,
a
my focus is
display, right?
CBC.
Like if they especially came with stands and you have them displayed and lights and sounds, and you have Anakin, Obi-Wan in there, and you have R2 and R5.
You went too far. You went too far.
Actually, I did a video on my channel, a Haslab pitch for that exact idea.
Did you really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I know why you're on the show, Tommy. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the lights and sound thing, I don't know what scares Hasbro about Star Wars and lights and sound, because
it's just how much the licensing costs, man. I think it's just so
they got to cut it somewhere.
Expensive for Star Wars compared to any other brand out there. But at the same time, Hasbro is the only place you can get Star Wars action figures from in the US. So it's like, they have no competition. So at the while we could want this and want that, they know we're still going to buy the Hasbro figures.
Yeah, Hal Runner, no lights and sounds, please. I am maybe in the minority with Hal Runner, is that all my Haslabs, I don't even put batteries in them because I don't play them, and I figure the battery is going to eventually leak and it's going to destroy. You know what I mean? That's the whole, because we grew up in it, and that's what our toys did. We left batteries in for years and they're broke. So I don't really utilize the lights and sounds personally. I know other people do, and even on the Micro Galaxy toys, I don't put any batteries.
Oh, sometimes I like to go to my shelf and press the pretty button and get the
Same.
Yeah,
the ghost. Just picking up that ghost,
man.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
yeah. I know. I'm glad it comes with it, but I don't utilize those features. They're just pretty candy on shelves. So if I can get a figure with it, great. To cut those light and sounds, that's fine with me. But again, I do appreciate the lights and sounds that we have gotten, like on the GI Joe ones.
Yeah.
But let's see. What about a Black Series Yak Face? Of course. Like, yes, it should have been a thing. I always thought
no-brainer.
The original 96 figures that came out in the original Kenner line should have been made already in this 10-year period. Yak Face included, Snaggletooth. I mean, there's a lot that haven't been in that original lineup that we haven't had.
Yeah.
We just got Hammerhead a month ago, So.
I think the original Power of the Force line was back in the 80s. Didn't it end in 84? It ended in 85. Was it 84, 85? And 85 would have been the last with Yak Face, who was an international figure,
right?
Who would have come with a coin. So next year is going to be the 40th anniversary of Yak Face. Put Yak Face out with a coin on a card back, on a classic card back. That would, or Tri-Logo or something like that. Some homage to Yak Face.
Yeah.
I think that would be absolutely great.
Yeah. Mando Mike up in the chat there, he had mentioned a skiff, starting with the skiff, and then you can add Jabba's denizens in there.
That'd be
starting Black Series that way. That'd be awesome. A skiff,
that'd be cool.
Skiff, because you have to fit at least 6 figures on there, right? So it'd be pretty big. Yeah. But I'd take it. Again, with the whole made to order stuff, I kind of want to see some sort of experiment with that, go on with that.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's a place for both. I think that the made to order stuff is that good for the medium priced items that don't quite get to Haslab level, but they're a little too expensive for the retailers. So it's a good way to kind of get collectors to get in and buy things like the E-Wing, because that's where that's going to sell. So I had the opportunity on my channel to talk to Daryl DePriest. He was a really high up with the marketing in Hasbro for like 20 years.
Great interview.
There was,
by the way.
Thank you. Yes. There was something that he said to me that has just stuck with me and now it has completely changed the way that I look at, Hasbro as a company and how they strategize, how they put out releases. Even back in like the 30th anniversary of Star Wars 77 and like the late 2000s, he said that even then things like Cantina Aliens just didn't sell well.
Right.
So they had to really stagger releases on them. It's just has never been the same as it was back in, Power of the Force, in the original figures from Kenner. So he said, you have to find a way to make those sellable. So I think with the Haslab Cantina, I think that's really the perfect way to kind of start pushing aliens back into the line, because now everybody's like, well, I have this cantina, I need figures to fill it with. Let me get these brand new, super articulated, versions of my favorite characters to fill up my cantina. I know so many people that wouldn't buy these characters otherwise that are doing that now. So, and then on top of that too, with Black Series, he kind of said that Black Series is a hard line specifically to market because vehicles are just so big in Star Wars.
Yeah, there's limits.
But when he talks about Haslabs, he talked about this 20-year rule, and he said, when you're making something with new Star Wars in 20 years, the Hasbro as a company should be making more stuff from that media again, because the kids that grew up with it now have the disposable income to buy it. So I think right now is the prime time for Black Series to do either the Jedi Interceptors or give us the arena beasts from Geonosis and Attack of the Clones. Do one of those two, and I guarantee you it would fund, because it's prequel and it's 20 years old. I think that otherwise, I really don't see much else in Black Series that would fund right now.
Yeah, we've said this so many times. Is like the reason why I think we're pushing aliens and droids and backgrounds is because, I mean, look at we're 400 some figures deep into it, and what's glaringly missing? Yeah, we got a lot of clones. Cool, but I mean, like, come on, and so there's the point where we've been in the game, or people have been in the game, and they've went along the ride with it, and now we're patiently waiting, and now it's like, okay, as a business, totally understand it, totally understand, but like the ways of doing it, like 2-packs, a deluxe, a Build-A-Figure, we always trying to come up with these scenarios where a yak face could be presented, because yak face on the shelf, 1 out of 100 people, collectors, is gonna buy that one. But I would,
today's market,
it's an insta buy for me, insta buy for most of you guys, because it's like iconic, and it is, but it won't fly off the shelf. Like I heard Yak Face did a report too, and like I said, I brought this up, but I'll give him more credit. He did that whole research on what sold more. Brutus from Skeleton Crew, that pirate, or Saboba, right? And Saboba has the more name recognition. It's got a prequel thing, and Brutus outsold Saboba, and so that's like a thing where Hasbro looks at it and goes, look, well, prequel stuff, don't know. People want it, of course they want it, but how many people want it?
Exactly.
And then it's the discussion of, we do want. My thing is, I want, if Hasbro came out and says we want to do it all, that would satisfy me as a collector.
Yeah,
because it's on the table. Now, when they get to it, we can discuss that and how they do it, and then, like I said, in different packages or deluxe or Haslabs, that's fine. But just the acknowledgement of, we see you, we understand it, and it's here, written right here. We got Yak Face, we got Sabul, we got all of these, and we want to get to them. The best thing that the classified team did right out the bat, it says everything is on the table, everything. And everybody's minds went like, oh my god, but they said there's nothing that was been in the GI Joe line that we're not thinking of, and I've never heard that from the Star Wars team. You know what I mean, on both lines. And I would love that kind of, just that confirmation, and mean it too, that confirmation of, look, we want to get to it all, it's just how we get to it eventually, we will, and that'd be cool with me. And I think a lot of people would be like, all right, all we're doing is living day to day. We all we can do is wait. So let's wait, so it's just my 2 cents on that. Like, just some confirmation that they acknowledge it, rather than doing the Indiana Jones thing and never mentioning it, not even mentioning that they dropped the line. Just like, no, we're done. After this huge push, and I got most of my money on it, and it was a backstab moment for me.
Felt like a stink.
It was.
Well, I think when it comes to the prequels and everything, you've got to be smart about that, because the one thing they do, and like Tommy was saying, every 20 years, Hasbro is like the disposable cash is coming in.
Yeah.
But one aspect about it, I think that they aren't thinking about, is like the way they did the Naboo Starfighter, and then they reused their prequel in a prequel vehicle in the Mandalorian. That kind of slided in where if they were smart about it, something like Slave One, and I know that name is controversial. I
Sure.
always call it Slave One.
Yeah, it is Slave
They
One.
can put
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
It's been in the prequels. It's been in the in the I guess the originals, and then now also the update or the new Star Wars world.
Right.
They could actually do a Haslab and actually have it where there's pieces and everything, and through the point that they could change it to look in different eras.
Right.
That's how you get people to get something that would have been in the prequel that maybe would come with Django, and then you get something that's in the Boba, and then you get something where it's like you're looking at Mandalorian Boba, and you could just come with all these tiers if they start thinking about this correctly.
Howl Runner. Yeah, again, the mentality's there at Hasbro. It's there because G.I. Joe team did that with the His tank. They said, here's this modernized classified His tank, but you could kind of retro it out with the new treads, with the canopy, and take it, and it kind of looks like and so what that sales on that really went up because of that notion of taking something like you said and then repaneling it to the Naboo Starfighter, right? Taking this and paneling it to make it look like Mando, even though the paint schemes are off and on stuff, but there's ways of doing it, shells or whatever. So.
But what did happen was whenever the Mando N1 Starfighter debuted on the show, that drove sales for past versions of the N1 way up. They skyrocketed. Skyrocketed. They were in the hundreds of, you could buy an N1 for about $20 before that debuted. After that debuted, they were over $150 for it.
I remember you showing me that, and I go, oh my good. I mean, it shows you like what you guys were saying. If it's on screen, it's relevant. It's in the face. It's in the now. This is a vehicle that I like. Hot Toys is doing this. Yeah, Commander Bly, we're getting ATRTs in Mando first, so it'll be relevant. It's doable. It's a smaller-ish vehicle. Totally doable. I'm expecting it. Hasbro, I know you're listening because they listen.
They listen.
We're expecting it. Okay, so collectors, we're expecting some smaller vehicle line to continue. Great. We're thumbs up on that. We're in for Blurg. We're in for more alien creatures, especially like Attack of the Clones, arena aliens or creatures. Come on, Accolade would be huge, but come on, we'll make room. We'll make room.
Yep. Fun fact on that Hot Toys ATRT, I placed my order for that 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it still has not. We have not received. It keeps just getting delayed. Right now, it's November 2024 to January 2025 is now the new update.
I remember seeing it at Celebration Anaheim.
Yep.
Really? You got to see it?
Yep.
Oh, it was there. Yeah, they had that and
the
speeder, the clone with the speeder too. Yeah. And I was just like, oh hell yeah, and
it looks sick.
Yeah, but I don't see, it's just what scares me. See, Hot Toys has a good reputation though, not like SH Figure Arts. SH Figure Arts put out all the stuff and then never produces it.
Yeah.
Jabba the Hutt, I'm looking at you. So never came out. Let's see. What's Todd White saying? What about a better recognition to the Mos Eisley band members that they were actually called the Pith? They were Homer Origin. They were peaceful. Yeah. Oh, there was a Jedi Pith. Yes, there was. Yeah. I mean, that could be in the comic book comics because I was in the comics, right? So that could be in the comic collection, or when they throw them in the gaming greats. But I have 7 of those Bith Cantina members, and I want a playset around it. Yes, I can 3D print my own, and I probably will. But again, another way of doing it, and I might take my build-a-figure thing to build a set, build accessories, build something where it's more environmental pieces. And again, as a 3D printer, I can do it. There's people out there, but again, Hasbro should recognize that too and throw in those pieces. I was also thinking about my Saboba thing where I was like, the sales were low on it. It's just because Saboba only came with that and the fish. Anakin only came with Anakin in a backpack, and I think a lot of people were very disappointed on that. Like you give us one step above and you call it deluxe and you charge us $34, but you can't, give us Anakin's pod racer helmet, or a
backpack that opens.
Or a backpack that opens, right? So
Well, to your point, Mooch, real quick, I did also want to say, I think like we are in the perfect market for Black Series right now for multi-packs of Cantina aliens and Jabba's denizens, because the multi-packs did so well this year, even for things like Jorus Sabayoth sold out in a 4-pack this year. When the hell would that ever happen for Black Series ever? And then it happened this year. So I think honestly, in these next couple of years, especially with TVC doing their Return to Mos Eisley,
Shadows of the Empire.
Yep, and then things like that. I think that we're gonna see hopefully some Cantina Alien multi-packs. That's a perfect way to put those out.
100%. And I forgot all about Shadows stuff, and like so excited for that stuff.
Yakface posted a confirmation that there was Dash Rendar's name is on something that he is coming, and
Luke Skywalker in his Coruscant Guard costume got leaked.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's coming in Black Series.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I'll buy them all. All
Dash
of them.
Rendar, whatever. But
I'm
Luke,
buying them.
I'm in on that Luke. Luke.
Especially when they put Dash Rendar in a Disney Plus series and call him canon. They're gonna do it.
Then I quit Star Wars.
Just real quick, I wanted to share our Black Series update right here. The graphic has been updated. All the Skeleton Crew figures have been found. So those, if you are taking note and you are using this for your checklist, you can go ahead and check those off. They are out in stores now, specifically GameStop and HasbroPulse.com. So get your Skeleton Crew figures now before the show debuts and everybody's scrambling to find them. And you're like, oh, I coulda, I shoulda, I woulda, but I didn't. Like me. So there you go.
Perfect. We have Palpatine 1975 is checking in. Greetings, gentlemen. I sense great disturbance in the Haslabs. Yes. Yes, Commander Blight. Dash and Skeleton Crew. It's happening. No, don't take it's not confirmed. Either is Hondo. We had a huge discussion last week about Hondo. But
Hondo should be confirmed, but he's not.
But here's the thing: it's like, Shadows is EU, but the character could be thrust into any kind of timeline. You will stop people go, nope, he's not supposed to be in here or whatever. And in the video game, he died only if you did not beat it on expert level.
Exactly. Hell Runner base. Who the hell is Dash Rendar? Anyway, he's the poor man's Han Solo.
Yeah. Shadows of the Empire. We actually are going to. This is why it's great to subscribe and hit that bell notification and get onto our socials, because as Sarlacc Digest, we are going to do on one of our Wednesdays a breakdown of Shadows of the Empire, when it was, and how it's coming back into it. So if anybody has missed Shadows of the Empire, wants to know where Dash Rendar came from, Prince Shizor, like what Luke in the armor, all that stuff, we're gonna break it all down into an episode and get everybody caught up to speed on it, on what a media blitz phenomenal that was, and how it's gonna be relevant.
If you want to know what kind of pheromones makes Leia horny, you're going to find out.
You're in luck. You are in luck. Yeah. Shadows of the Empire. No, that's not fan fiction. That was a Lucas license thing in 1995, 96.
Yeah, that sounds right.
96, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It was a 6-part comic book miniseries that takes place in between Empire and Return of the Jedi, and it was a novel, plus it had a soundtrack, plus toys.
96.
Yeah, it was a whole media blitz of everything. A first time ever a soundtrack was produced for a comic book or a novel, like full on John Williams produced. I think it was John Williams. Not quote me on that, but might not been. But it was great. It was just a good kind of thing. To us, it's canon. Okay, so there. Back off.
Was it? We'll get into it on Sarlacc Digest and why Scott does not necessarily care for it. 100%.
That's right.
It had some great stuff to it, but
Todd White, he says, I just have to throw in, I was at the Abbey Theater opening night of Star Wars 1977. I still have my ticket stub. Okay,
nice.
Since when we started this show, we used to do showcases, and like showcase something, someone's awesome collection or a very cool item that they possess. I'm gonna give this as an honorary showcase of a original 1977 ticket stub. If we ever get a chance, hit us on the socials, and so we can get a visual of that and put it back in the showcase. So, Todd, that's a grail. That is a grail to a lot of people that even still have that. I still have all my ticket stubs, but when I was collecting ticket stubs, because a collector is what you do, but not from when I was a kid, and I would have still loved that. That would have been awesome. So that's awesome. That should be framed and everything. Yeah, pretty cool. Yes, Rick Jones, check it in. Yeah, he's talking about Shadows of the Empire, also a video game. The game was too hard and repetitive. It was hard because if you wanted to see the original ending, if Dash Rendar survived, you had to beat it on Jedi Master or something like that. And that would, I mean, you're talking about getting one shot. It's a hard video game, but anybody gets a chance to play it. They should remaster it and put it out soon. Yeah, let's see. We got Robert Scott. Oh, thank you. Joel McNeely was the composer of the Shadows of the Empire soundtrack. Thank you for that. I always, like I said, I'm never afraid to be wrong. That's cool. That's cool.
God, Hellrunner Base making us all feel old. There was a game. I was only like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
I wasn't even born.
Hey, yeah. See, Blitz wasn't even born.
I wasn't even a thought. That was
They automatically
my wife and I
out the chat for that.
Yeah.
My wife and I had just gotten engaged in '96. So yeah, wow.
I was 2 years out of high school. and Star Wars made a comeback, and it's the best time. 90s for Star Wars was fantastic.
It was, man. That's where we got our first Leia Bausch figure in the Shadows of the Empire line of the modern era figures.
Yeah,
that was great. Slave One made its debut in the Shadows of the Empire line.
Yes. Yeah, and the purple packaging, and in
the purple packaging, it was great. For the toys, it was great, except for Chewie, who had a flat top, and I still don't know how the hell his hair grew back so fast.
I mean,
does that explain why he had bangs in Return of the Jedi?
I think so.
I think so. Bangs in Return of the Jedi.
We're gonna say yes.
Wookiee hair grows fast.
Hey, Commander Bly. Commander Bly, fresh out of the Marine Corps. Tommy was still an egg.
Oh man, I love it. This happens when your dad's in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think I don't think we're gonna get anything for the end of the year surprises, Star Wars wise, figure wise. Are we?
There's that Gift the Galaxy thing. I think we're getting more reveals tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Maybe another Black Series or two, but
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to leave everybody on a teaser, and that is I have a collecting tip, and that collecting tip will come in our next episode. Cool. So it has for the last 25 years always paid off for me. So there's a Christmas time collecting tip for you coming in the next episode.
Mine is let Scott find everything you need in the wild, and he will contact you. He does. Scott, you don't give me a chance to hit the stores.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding. No, just kidding. Don't stop.
Anyway, it is how to bend Batman's leg. Yes, it is. Just rip that bitch right off. Just
I think that's a McFarlane QC tip.
Yeah. Probably one of the reasons why I stopped McFarlane collecting. It was like I can't stand these figures.
I love those. I love the look of the animated series from the Warner Brothers animated series.
Yeah,
they look fantastic. I will never buy another one. That was my first, and as a really super hard to find figure, and then to break.
Also, they're terribly hard to stand unless you have a Toshi Station employee.
And even then, sometimes I can't help McFarlane. Sometimes it's like, jeez, man.
Although I will say that Green Arrow looks fantastic on a Masters of the Universe stand.
Look at that.
Right? I mean, look at it. That looks really cool, right?
See the thing about an ecosystem, you make one work for all.
Yep, that's right. And it's the only one that it's thick enough and it's got the wide enough base to where he actually stands on it. So
nice. Made. Todd White with a generous comment. All four of you guys are fantastic speakers, doing a fantastic job. I'm getting goosebumps listening to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for that. I welcome coming in and chatting it up with us. All you guys have been awesome. It's great to just come in and talk not just Star Wars, but toys in general. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of time we have great news. Sometimes it's about it's constructive criticism in my book. What we do, and maybe Hasbro takes it back, or I know maybe they listen. I know they listen. You know what I mean? But I mean, we've got a great team here. You know, Alexander, we got Tommy, Scott. You guys are always here for us, and for the show, and it's much appreciated. So everybody in the pit, thank you so much. I think it's time to get out of here. Hit the bell, like, and subscribe, because that's the only way you're going to know if we're going to drop another show. We will by the end of the year, and it's going to. And right now, I want the pit to start thinking about the best and worst Black Series. It doesn't matter. Black Series, Hot Toys, Micro Galaxy. It could be a salt and pepper shaker. Doesn't matter. What's the best Star Wars collectible that you have this year, that you've got this year, and maybe what's one of the worst ones too. So
that's the caveat. You had to have found it in the year 2024. So
yes, this year. What did you find? It doesn't have to be from this year, but what did you find in your collection that you bought, that you have, that you're so proud of? And it could be where a figure, this was the worst figure they put out this year, but also here's the best figure. So we'll explore that. And it doesn't have to be limited to one. We'll have many things. That'd be a fun talk to kind of close out the year. And then Tommy got me so excited for 2025. Really, I mean, on that front of just that, he said, just the notion of, hey, they might be looking at this a little more serious. Yeah, and I'm there for it, man. Like, yeah, I do feel you that it was a testing the waters year. I've seen it. You know, we've seen some of the stagnatism that they did, that they're like, oh, hey, why did we get these all of a sudden? You know, so and I think Scott is safe with Vintage Collection. I really do. I think you're going to continue to get really cool fleshed out worlds, and so that's why we tease you. That's why
all about the world building, man. It's all about the world building. I freaking love it. So
nice. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Will Haslab do another fan stream for Star Wars 2025? Yeah, probably next year. See where they go. You know, we'll explore it. But
especially this year, Revenge of the Sith. I think sure there will be Revenge of the Sith.
I'll run Secret Santa.
Was it trying to get some kind of like a max subscription or something?
Yeah, Howlrunner's still looking for a Hasbro Pulse subscriction.
That's it.
It's cool. Hey, like I could get the figures for you, but I still got to ship them to you. So it's like, unless we meet in the middle somewhere. All right, yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Yeah,
hang on, real quick. Max Rebo Experience Black Series hallway someday. You know what? I happen to know for a fact that there is a hallway that is currently in the works, not necessarily by Hasbro, but by this guy right here in Tashi Station Emporium. For example, I'm gonna move my camera here.
Whoa, I'm getting dizzy.
For a second. Man on
the street. We have that. Look at that hallway back there. There's a door and some walls and stuff. Yes, I happen to know for a fact the Tashi Station Emporium is working on another project.
Yes. Yeah, some people have different pronunciations. When it was originally called Tentive Weaver and Tentive Vivi, Tentive Four. Yeah, so I don't know. There might be some cool things. On the Tashi Station front, on my socials, I get hit up a lot on my direct messaging asking, are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? And always the answer is yes. It's yes to all. Yeah. Yes. I'm doing what I want Hasbro to do. It's on my whiteboard of things to do. Yeah, absolutely. The bell is on the subscribe button. There should be a notification I think it's on the subscription link to our channel.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think it used to be independent, but
and you know, a little small tip on that notification bell, because I know you brought that up to me about it. Make sure you're frequently checking that notification bell, because certain times YouTube will actually click that off. So like whenever you're enjoying your favorite show or about to enjoy it, make sure you're checking that notifications, because I have to constantly do that.
Yeah.
Great content on Star Wars. They did it to my Blitz.
Yeah.
They did it to my Sorlak.
And YouTube likes to throw in a code there to disrupt the flow sometimes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes I go, hey, is it supposed to, isn't Shadow Note supposed to be on? And they're on, and my phone never notified me. But All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody. Alex, Shadow Nose Network, what is going on? I mean, I know, but I want you to tell everybody.
Hey, I don't even think I know. The guys haven't talked to me the week, though.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Normally we have the live streams on Wednesdays and Fridays, and we don't miss weeks. So this is what we're going to do because a lot of us will be traveling or cooking or whatever we're supposed to be doing, or watching somebody cook or whatever you want to do those days.
Yeah.
But we are going to have actually pre-recorded episodes. They'll be brand new, but they'll just be recorded. We're dropping on Wednesday for Toy Box Chronicles at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be our Toy Thanksgiving. What are we thankful for this year? Now, I can tell you the special thing about this is we had somebody pop us very special video of an actual review. Mr. Scott Solo is actually having that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a very special review that's going to be on Toy Box Chronicles that he did. It's fantastic. We enjoyed it. So make sure, if not for us, if you just want to see Sorlac on us, then Scott Solo's got something. And on Friday night, we've got the best zombie films ever ranking. And
I'll be up for
all
that.
the members will be in the chats, or some of the members, or even I like to mention DJ.
DJ. Yeah, heck yeah.
DJ will be probably in the chat or something. So there'll be somebody live, but there'll be pre-recorded videos. And then after that, I've got to see whatever's going on at Blitz Transmission, because I got to get my second Star Wars fix of the week and everything over there, man.
Yes.
What's going on over there, Tommy?
Yeah.
I got the Blitzcast, comes out every Saturday morning, which is my weekly podcast. I do it with either my fiance, my little brother. Hopefully I'm trying to get my dad in here at some point.
Definitely.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And I do action figure reviews all the time. I think I'm finally catching up to where I finally won't have daily uploads for a while. But I'm doing daily reviews and stuff. In addition to that, I usually do like live streams once a month or when I get new stuff. But I do have a Blitzmas party live stream coming up in December. So
all right.
I haven't announced it yet. This is the first I'm talking about it, but I'm getting a crew together to do a Blitzmas party stream. So we're going to have some fun, get up to some Christmas antics. But lots of Star Wars stuff, action figure based, lore based, kind of a little bit of everything. So
nice. And I do want to say that last time I checked, you were 18 subs away from 500. So everybody, I'm putting the APB out. Get this man to 500 so we can
Link
celebrate.
Is right down there. Link is right down there.
Link in all our shows is in the description below to Shadow Nose, Blitz Transmissions. We've put together a great coalition of cool and great personalities and other podcasters to bring a toy show every other Monday for you guys for Starlight Digest. So our next show probably will be December 9th, which is every other. So we do this show every other Monday, but then Starlight Digest every Wednesday. Not this week. We're taking this week off, but we're coming right back next week with a Skeleton Crew breakdown for the first 2 episodes. And we don't just go scene by scene. We break it down, canon, all that stuff. What matters, what they got right, we're not overly constructive or critical.
Sidewalks, Mooch.
Sidewalks. I like them. I'm cool with them. Like
walk them dogs. You can also find us at the Star Wars Community on Facebook. It's the Star Wars Community brought to you by the Sarlacc Digest. You can find us also on Instagram, TikTok. I don't think we're on Blue Skies yet, but you never know. So
why not?
Just look for Sarlacc Digest podcast anywhere you find your social whatevers, and we'll be there. So.
Yeah, Tommy, I'm sorry, you're not going to get to 500. He said,
whatever. Wow, that is some love right there. Wow.
Hey, it makes you earn that love, man.
Yes,
Let's go.
Yes, it
does. The relationship you have with your dad online here, it's very much like my relationship with Moocher. It's that tough love thing, right? Where
yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, there's only so many times I can say vintage collections. It's like, come on.
Before I gag,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but again, I call him later, and it's all cool.
After the tears have flowed.
Yeah. You hear what he said about my collection again? But every time I'm at his room, I can't leave his room, so I'm like,
that's true.
All right, guys. Again, everybody, thank you guys. Everybody in the pit for showing up. You guys that are on the replay crew, leave a comment in the section below too, because we're always in there and we will respond back. Check out everybody else's shows. Go support. It's great. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's celebrating in America. We will be back again next Wednesday for the Sarlacc Digest, full Skeleton Crew breakdown, and of course, you can look forward to all the cool 1 minute toy reviews that Scott is dropping. If there's a little break, don't worry. There's other things coming. We've got plans for the 1 minute / 1 minute stuff. So some cool things. Don't
worry. There's not going to be a break.
No. We're enablers. We cannot let anybody not buy things. So
yeah.
I mean, I even lend him toys to do it too. So
he does.
All right, guys. With that, I think we're done. Thank you. Good night, Scott.
Keep it nerdy, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
This is Grand Admiral Thrawn. You are listening to the Sarlacc Digest. What a fascinating play on words.